Hello, hello. This is Strategic Change Guide podcast and it's Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. It is Monday for us as well. We are recording Monday to Monday this time, and today we are talking about the managing setbacks. We do all have situations when something goes sideways, when things not happening the way we plan, when something goes wrong and something breaks in-house, in a family, at work, with a client, with partner, here and there. There are many things that can get us upset, and frankly, there are many situations that we cannot affect, so we cannot change it. If something broke, we cannot change it. We can replace or arrange to get fixed. Or if something went wrong, for example, with one of your contracts or clients, we can arrange to change the contract or to find another client. But frankly, there is no way of predicting the setbacks or the situations that you don't like dealing with. And there is no way of managing except managing your perception and your reaction to it. Right?
That is true. And there's things that are I don't want to use the term cyclical, but there are things that happen in life that we cannot control. But on the other hand, if we focus on we go through the assumption that we can't control them. We know we can't control when and how and where the sun rises and the moon sets or the stars align in the sky. If a car hits us going across the street, but we can control when we decide to cross a street. And we have our eyes wide open. There's a lot of things that happen to us in our life that we can't actually control. If something happened repeatedly, then we know that either we have the wrong supplier or they're generally things that happen to us is actually our fault. I'll take complete responsibility if I get overweight. It's not because of the food. Necessarily the food that I'm eating that's causing me to go overweight. It's because I have a lack of exercise, a lack of habits, a lack of routines that actually move me in the direction that I want to go. We can't blame everything on our government. We can't blame everything on someone else. We have to blame it on ourselves and say, it's my actions that define this, my actions that triggered this, my actions that cause my spouse or my significant other to be upset and make them feel uncomfortable. They have a responsibility, and so do we have a responsibility on ourselves. So my spouse, Lucy, doesn't determine what type of day I'm going to have. I determine what type of day I'm going to have and how I'm going to respond to it. Now I can say, hey, this happens every day. So who's responsible for it? Is it my contractor, my supplier, or someone else? No, it's me. I decide because I can determine, am I going to use a different contractor? I can determine, am I going to prepare for things ahead of time? Am I going to do a better job at work rather than waiting for my boss to come in and reprimand me when the boss has told me what the alternative is going to be? The boss has laid things out for me very clearly, and I decide not to change or decide to get the skills I need to get. That's not fate. That's not the boss being mean. It's me. So generally, it goes back on us. There's something we control, we can't control, and what we absolutely cannot control, then we understand that we need to make some changes somewhere along the line. I prefer to go along the direction and say there's some changes that I need to make in myself. I can stop it. Years ago, I can remember my kids were really small. I had this dilapidated car, and I'd always buy these cheap tires in California. And they're the tires that, they're $5 tires. You couldn't afford to pay the $100 tires that we know are going to give us X number of miles for pretty much sure and have a nice warranty on them. So we get the $5 tires, and maybe if we're lucky, get the $10 or $15 tires. Now these tires are already turned in to the dealer from somebody who felt they were insufficient for a number of reasons on their own car. And yet we're going to come and get the tires and say, oh, wow, it's not bad, but it's a little bit better than what we have. And then we're surprised when that tire goes bad in the freeway, which it oftentimes did. Well, we shouldn't be surprised. We got through, we drove on it, and we should be thankful that it lasted as long as it did, but we shouldn't be surprised if it's going to last another 20,000 miles. point being here is that we have to take responsibility for our own life, the circumstances that come upon us, and change them.
There are things that we can change. There are things that we need to affect. So yes, managing setbacks means being ready for the bad situation to happen, being ready to deal with it, and being ready to change if the situation occurs constantly and repeats itself. But also, when there is a situation, you have to manage to deal with it mentally first, and that this also means not getting negative, not getting frustrated or mad or upset, because when you react with something happens, something uncertain, like right now, many people feel depressed or angry with situation when we went into quarantine, and now we're going out of quarantine in many countries, and this might be hard, and when something breaks with your life, like losing contractor or contract, client or job, you can get negative, and this way you are not productive. Instead of looking for a new customer or new job, you will not be productive. You will be sitting on the sofa and just using your savings. That's not the way. So the one thing how you can manage your setback is not get into negative. And another point, you can switch to another activity. So if you are not ready to get into work right now for some reason, or look for another job, or you're looking for another industry to turn into, you need to switch activity. For example, you wanted to take care of your health, go exercise, or go consult with your therapist and with your coach how you're going to exercise, or your nutritionist, what your food will be. So switch activities. If you're not ready to deal with hard situation or with hard subject that still pains you a lot, switch to something else. And then another point, think about yourself and your health. When you are mentally and physically healthy, you will be able to deal better with any setback. So those are the points. That's it. So there's no direct way to manage, but there is a way to manage yourself, your reaction, and your readiness to deal with hard situations.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Lucy is right about that, about seeing it through a different lens. But bear in mind that there have been many people in the world who have accomplished great things that you're using right now at work and at home, and where the business was created because they got upset with something. Sometimes you're going to flat out have to just not get upset with anyone else, but get upset with yourself and say, I'm not going to take this anymore. You're going to have to say that things are not right. Everything is not all right all the time, and there's something I need to change, and not point your finger at somebody else. The very first customer I received with our management consulting business over 20 years ago was a Fortune 500 company. I didn't have a name or business, and guess how I got them? I had taken a business plan to a man that was a millionaire, and I didn't want his money, I just wanted his advice. When he refused to even speak to me, just give me his ideas on it, and put it in his doorstep, I came home, and I looked around the apartment, and at first I cried. Then I stood there and remember everything I had read and all the seminars I had attended over the years, and I got upset. I didn't walk to the house and say, everything is going to be okay. No, I got upset. I said, everything depends upon me right now, and I'm going to turn it around. I got upset, and I picked the phone up, and somehow I ended up calling a company several states away that I had never called before. It was my first time. Because I said, this is not how I'm going to live my life, waiting for things to come to me. I'm going to get upset and get it. So whether you're a sports fan, you're Michael Jordan, you're going to say, I am not going to lose this game. I am not going to be defeated, and I'm going to turn things around. And that's when you get up, you suck your chin up, pull your chest in, you stand differently, and you tell yourself, how does a person who's not going to be defeated stand? How does a person who's not going to be defeated speak? What does a person that's not going to be defeated write on Facebook? What do they send out on a tweet? How do they walk into the office? They're not mean, but they are determined. This is the Super Bowl game. I am not going to be defeated. And you have to find out a way to do that. And come up with a new way. Invent something. Right now. To get yourself out of the situation you're in so it never happens like this again to you ever.
So here from two of us, you have two angles of looking at managing setbacks. And we want you to think about both angles and think about your reaction to hard situations and drop us a line right as how you usually react and how you manage. So we will go into subject again deeper and analyze what are the usual steps.
I like Mr. Rogers, but you know what? You don't want to run your business in your life that's exactly that direction. You want to have more of an edge than Mr. Rogers. And that's what you got to do because the world is competitive. And you can't walk through it and say, you know what, I gave it my best shot. Giving your best shot is no longer enough. It does not feed your family. You can ethically go out there and make everything change if you just get up and expect more out of yourself. Raise your expectations in your dating life, your married life, your hygiene, everything, and battle for it.
So we are waiting for the email from you, and you're gonna hear from us the next Monday because it's Motivational Monday by Jim and Lucy. And do not forget to join our patron program.